come up with that dog shit pick. What the fuck were we thinking? What the fuck were you thinking?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Jimnasium. As always, it is me, XFL Jim, and we are coming back here for a super awesome secret episode of the Jimnasium. Come the fuck in here! I can't play too much of that. I don't want to get.
Yeah, we don't get the ding. We don't get the ding.
As always, it is me, XFL Jim.
Do you believe in magic? Just like the story about the Wizard of Oz that had a wish to be a very special girl.
Make a wish. Make a wish, Chase.
I have such a hard time watching that. Like, I know you were going for cringe and you nailed it.
Make a wish. As always, we're joined by the one, the only, the incomparable, the very, very special Chase Sessoms, a.k.a. the Wolf of Oaklawn.
Better cut that off, too.
Yeah.
Just needed a beat drop. There we go. What's up, Jimbo?
Chase, how you been, buddy?
Doing well. I had a very successful Belmont Saratoga racing festival.
It was a pretty good week for you, from what I heard.
Yeah, it was pretty decent. I turned a profit 4 or 5 days of the meet. I hit a big pick 5 for about $6,000. Things have been well. So yeah, I've made some changes around here. We got a new foster child.
Oh,
yeah. We have a new foster son.
Okay, what'd you get?
His name is the Toga Twankler.
Oh, come on. Look at that. Look at that.
Drink it in. Drink it in. Oh my god.
Oh my god, it's beautiful.
Oh, there's so much. Look at it. Look how
it's so shiny.
Oh my god. I love it. I love everything about it, Jim. I love it so much.
Shout out NASCAR. Shout out Jeff in the chat. Insane UFL upsets. Did you see that? Yes. Yes. Some would call them upsets. I don't know. I did pick both the Battlehawks and the Stallions to win, so I was just double wrong. Also, Jair Alexander got released from the Packers.
All right. Well,
shout out Uncle Rico. Oh, Uncle Rico. Speaking of which, Chase. So when I was posting this, like the link, the promotion to Twitter. You get to see how many tweets you post. I want to play a guessing game between you, me, and Uncle Rico. How many tweets do you think I have posted lifetime?
Oh, God. I don't, dude. I'm not sure if I want to answer. All right, Jim. I don't know if I want to answer this question, Jim. And the reason I don't want to answer this question, Jim, is because I don't want to know how many tweets I've posted.
Eric is guessing I have made 5,800 tweets. Jeff is guessing 32,600 tweets. I will just say this. Jeff is way closer.
I know I'm up there too.
I'm at 37,000 posts on Twitter. NASCAR with 190. I do follow somebody that has like almost 200,000 tweets. I am at 37,000 tweets. Chase.
Oh God.
Where are you? What do you feel like you're at for tweets? You're not that high. You're not that high.
I'm not that
You're
high.
not as high as me. You're not as high as me.
I'm going to go with a nice round number. I'm going to say 25.
You're below that. You are at 21.6.
I feel better. I feel better now.
Especially, you've been on Twitter since 2019. I have been on Twitter since 2020. January 2020 is when the XFL Gym account went on Twitter.
Yeah.
So, yes, you're at 21,600.
Reposts?
Retweets do count as tweets.
Okay, because there's it would be lower, but like I have understanding with certain other figures in the horse racing world that we retweet each other's shit.
Yes, retweets do count as tweets. Now for Uncle Rico. Knowing that retweets count as tweets, what is your guess for Eric? The eToff21 Sports at eToff21 on Twitter.
Oh, I'm going to go way lower. I'm going to say 12.
Actually, the highest out of all three of us.
Really?
Retweets count as tweets, and remember, he's also been on Twitter since 2011.
Okay, that makes sense.
Since 2011, 65,800 tweets. But since 2011, the average is probably way higher for me.
Yeah, my volume's picked up way. Like, I've just started living way out loud on Twitter. Like, there's no filter from me on Twitter anymore. I didn't, whenever they were doing the Belmont, I did like holster one tweet, and I'll tell you about it. It was, Chris Fallica, the bear.
Mm-hmm.
He was on there, and he was just sitting, just sitting there. He's got that pointy head, and he's all bald and shit. And I was like, Chris, the bear looks like a dick. I was like, just straight up, he looks like a dick. And then I said, but to his credit, at least he looks like a girthy one.
To be fair, I think I almost hit like 10,000 just my first year. Just based off of attacking people who were saying shit about the XFL after COVID.
Love it.
I think I tweeted Darren Ravel and like Mike Florio like 100 times a piece in like the span of weeks. And I would just, and also this stands to this day. I retweet any positive for like the UFL. Anything positive, UFL, CFL, AF1, all that stuff, I retweet positive.
Yeah. I usually retweet anything negative I see about Bob Baffert.
Also true.
Yeah.
You're also like, I think since joining like a network, you guys kind of like retweet and like cross tweet stuff too.
Yeah. Also, like, so that big pick 5 hit on Twitter, that has to be my most liked.
That was a lot of engagement. That was a lot of engagement for you.
I picked up like 100 followers off of that.
That was a big one. I mean, yes.
That was big. Yeah.
Eric saying, Jesus Christ, what's all these ads on Twitch? I think just because I got partnered on Twitch, I had to have ads. It's like 1 minute ad break, and then it like stops.
Yeah.
For it, the reason I do it is because it stops pre-roll ads. So that if you do mid-roll ads like for a minute, I think you get 30 minutes of no pre-roll. So when people go to your channel, there's no ads.
Yeah.
It's all weird.
I feel you.
But enough about Twitch, enough about Twitter. Chase, how was your week?
It was good. It was very good. It was excellent. Yeah, man. Couldn't be happier.
I feel like I need to pop a chain too.
There you go.
There we go.
I thought about wearing my first chain along with this chain for like a how it started, how it's going sort of thing. But they don't really stack well. They don't stack well together. I also learned that we call that a stack. We don't call that layers. It's a stack.
That one, it's blinding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, the UFL championship is set, and for the first time, we have the potential for a brand new champion.
I'm so fucking excited. I was so
The Birmingham Stallions have been eliminated.
Dead. There was a moment like very early in the fourth quarter where I was like, they're about to Stallion this shit and win it.
Were you worried going into the game? Because I was, because J Moore had been cooking.
So I kind of forgot about it because that was also
Belmont.
I was kind of hibernating a little bit while that stuff was going on. But I caught it into like the first like quarter whenever I turned it on. And I wasn't nervous because like I don't know, Bryce Perkins was just fucking cooking, dude. Like
Player of the year, dude. Player of the year. I know he missed like 3 or 4 weeks. Was it the right move to pull Jamar? Skip like puts his guys on a tight leash.
Dude, yeah. Like when they're doing well, they'll cycle through 3 quarterbacks, you know?
So Jamar had been like cooking weeks prior, and I don't know, you get Matt Corral back, you got to see what you got with him, right?
Yeah, you got to think that Matt Corral probably has the most upside of anybody else that's in that organization.
Yeah, but like
Coming
Matt
off
Corral
of
played like one full game the entire year.
I know. I'm just saying, like, if you think about them going forward, you got to think that Matt Corral has the most upside as a quarterback if you get to bring him back as a starting quarterback, considering his age comparable to some of these other quarterbacks. I mean, he's only been out of college a few years. Granted, you can stay in college much longer.
Yeah, he is 26.
That's still pretty young compared to, for quarterbacks for that league. So I don't know. Like, don't you think he's probably like the Stallions quarterback of the future?
I would think so.
I doubt he catches on with it, especially with being injured and everything.
How old do you think Jamar is?
I'd say like 28, 29.
Yeah, right on the dot, 28. Working it. Shout out Jamar Smith though. What a fucking move! Like he was working at Dunkin' Donuts as a manager in the middle of this season.
Nice.
I love
schedules.
I love it.
Making sure everything's up to code. Love it.
I just think Bryce Perkins is him.
Dude, that run that he broke off, that for it was like 3rd and 20, and he just like took off, like spun off of some dudes, bounced off of some people. He throws some don't get me wrong, like he throws a lollipop fucking ball sometimes, but like it just kept like just landing right in the bucket like every single time he threw it yesterday. It seemed like.
Now I will never think of the UFL as a feeder league, no matter how many people try and get me to feed that way, or like a minor league, quote unquote. I hate using that. It is fun to imagine these guys in certain systems, though. Imagine Bryce Perkins as a backup for the Baltimore Ravens. I think it fits. I think it fits.
Sort of like what they did with Snoop Huntley.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it fits. I think it fit. I also just like I've been a big Perk fan ever since the Virginia days. I loved watching him at Virginia, dude. He was fun.
He's electric, man. He's real electric.
And some people have been saying like you should be going like that the UFL should do something similar to what the AAF did, where they targeted specific like areas of players for colleges for their initial drafts, so that people get a little bit familiarity. I think targeting big like names that people remember from college is a good move, but they're not always a great player. Like Max Duggan, for instance.
Yeah.
Everyone. I don't know if you sort of saw this coming. I feel like the world, if you've been watching the UFL for the last 3 weeks, when Max Duggan, yes, he's on a 5-game winning streak going into this. If you were watching the games, though, the way Max Duggan would throw a football was painful to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Man, talk about someone who just had that one just blow up season. And then after that has looked completely inept ever since.
The thing with it, like, he's a dog, and he will do whatever it takes to win. Like, he will put his body on the line, and I think he's a great locker room presence. Yeah. I think he's a great leader, which sucks because he can't throw the football. He has, like, everything that makes a great quarterback except for throwing, which is, like, the most important
thing. Tough. That's tough. That makes it tough. Unless you're, like, running the triple option or something like that. That's pretty much
maybe they should. Maybe they should. And shout out Jordan Tamu, cooked it. Defenders, I think they only have one loss in St. Louis through all 3 years of playing. Even going back to 2020, I don't remember if they played at St. Louis in 2020 or not.
I was going to say, I think it's finally their year. I think because it should have been their year, the year that Arlington beat them.
That was awesome still. Shout out to us for calling that.
Yeah, that was so fucking good. But no, for real, like that should have been like just looking at how they were playing football and how like Arlington looked for the majority of the season, they should have won that game.
Speaking of that year, I'm bringing it up because I looked it up. So in playoff sort of scenarios, if you count week 9, which was basically a play-in game between Seattle and St. Louis in the XFL in 2023, here are the scores for the St. Louis Battlehawks in playoff-like games. 2023, week 9, the Seattle Sea Dragons beat them 30-12.
Yeah.
Last year, San Antonio comes in, both teams 7-3. San Antonio wins 25-15. It still baffles me that they let AJ play that game because he was so hurt. He was so
yeah.
Should have just put Silvers in or something. And then now the Defenders come in and spank them 36-18.
That's not really protecting the old home dome there, is it, man? For the Battle Horks.
And I'm not one of the guys that's like St. Louis gets all the breaks. Obviously, behind the scenes, the league wants St. Louis to do well, and they want St. Louis in the championship game. Obviously. But I think this year in particular, there was, trust me, I'm going to have a whole off-season, at this point, Chase, I'm worried that my off-season UFL video of, reviewing the season is going to be, an hour long with all the takes I'm going to have.
I'm for it.
There's so many takes. There was 25,000 people at this game. And while that is huge for many of the markets, that is not good enough for St. Louis in a championship clinching scenario. And the main reasons being, I have so many reasons why this is. Marketing in St. Louis has sucked. The tickets in St. Louis are almost double the price of everywhere else, which is ridiculous. And then also, the season goes too late. I'm sorry, I love the UFL. The UFL's number one. It's supreme. It rules. It is amazing. The casual fans that you need to fill up a stadium anywhere, after Memorial Day, it's summertime. Those fans are going to be doing something else. Especially in a place like Birmingham or Memphis where it's going to be hot as fuck out.
Sorry, I had to take the name back so you could see the
chain. You had to.
Yeah, there we go.
I don't know. But also, now people are talking, should Anthony Beck get fired? No coach is getting fired. No coach is ever going to get fired in the UFL. They're going to have to choose to leave. And maybe he does, but he's not getting fired.
If anyone was going to get fired, it was going to be Rod Woodson.
He was the only one. He was coming after the refs and the league and everything.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. You need to have as much continuity as possible for these leagues.
And they won 8 games this year. They got lucky doing it, but they're still their defense for the most part was really good. I am so excited for this championship game between DC and Michigan, though. It's going to be a fucking shootout. It's going to be awesome. You're
going, right?
Yeah, I'm going. So meet me in St. Louis if you're going to be there. I'm there
on
Thursday
Saturday,
night
right?
Till Sunday.
What's the
game's
fit?
On Saturday.
What are you wearing?
For the game?
Yeah.
It's the UFL gym fit, so it's the robe. It's the kimono style.
Okay.
No shirt underneath.
No shirt underneath. Silk drawers. No underwear on underneath.
I gotta wear underwear. I gotta. Right.
Otherwise, the boys would fall out.
The boys fall out and potentially chafing.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
So underwear will be worn. No shirt though. I got in with no shirt last time. I already have my tickets. I got the cheap tickets. They were $60 for 2 tickets. And guess what? If St. Louis isn't in there, if it's like last time, there were still 15,000 people last time. I'm going to sit wherever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
We're going to sit wherever. We're going to sit behind either the Defenders or the Panthers sidelines. I don't care. Jeff chiming in. Wish they gave you an on-field press pass. I will say this. Love the UFL. It's my baby. It's my darling. The way they treat small independent media.
Not pleasant to deal with.
No, you work for SGPN. I listen to the UFL gambling podcast. I listen to how Colby talks about them.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
They shut us down. They're like, no, nope.
They shut me down too. I talked with so for those in the space, they know James Larson. He works for Pro Football Newsroom. He got in, but he's legit. He's doing player stuff, and those guys are awesome. I don't understand why you wouldn't just be letting in as many people as possible. That's just me.
No big deal.
That's just me. I would be trying to let in as many people as possible. Whatever. Another league started this weekend, though, Chase. It was a busy weekend of football. The CFL started. The long slog of the CFL season.
My God, I forgot how long that goes.
When do you think the CFL season ends?
In December.
I think it might be November. Let's see. If we go with the Grey Cup, November 16th.
It might as well be December.
November 16th. So it starts June 5th was the first game.
And it lasts for 5 months.
Goddamn. PJ Walker.
How long the NFL? Is that how long the NFL season lasts?
NFL starts in September and goes till February.
Yeah.
Or October, November, December, January, February. 6 months.
6 months?
Well, it's early. It's mid-February, so yeah.
That's true, yeah.
5.5.
5.5.
June, July, August, September, October, November. So about the same amount of time, but
okay.
I mean, you
Less
notice it
teams.
more with, I was going to say 9 teams versus 32.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, they got to fucking hate each other by the time that season is over.
There's some real hate between like these fan bases.
No, I'm talking about like the players.
Yes, there is definitely some real hate between the players too, especially because the thing with the CFL, Chase, there's a lot of back-to-backs.
Right. That's the thing is that like you see these guys so many times through the course of a year.
I'm trying to see like
fucking hate them.
There's forget what it was. There like last year there was like a triple. Like these teams played each other 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah. That's ridiculous. No football team should ever play against each other 3 weeks in a row.
And one team's on a bye every week.
God, can you imagine how difficult? Well, it's probably not as difficult as scheduling 32 teams. I was gonna say how difficult it is to like schedule 9 teams and not have them go like back to back to back at some point.
It's tough. It's got to be tough. But we're in UFL mode. I'm excited for St. Louis. I'm taking a new buddy this time. He got mad at me that I decided we're staying in East St. Louis.
Good strip clubs in East St. Louis. I blacked out in one.
We're staying at the DraftKings Casino over in Illinois. We're on the other side of the river.
Oh, where Fairmont Park is.
Yeah.
All right. So you get to see some really bad horses.
Yeah, if we
really
wanted
bad.
to. If we wanted to.
Yeah, if you wanted to, you could see some awful fucking horses run.
But the cool thing is we're right next to the tram. So
there you go.
take it right to the stadium. Get drunk as shit. Come back. Don't have to drive.
There you go. Are you going with your buddy that I met at one time?
Which buddy did you meet?
It's a little guy.
You met Alex.
Alex, yeah.
No, he went last year. Can't go this year. He's hung up. I'm going with another buddy, Parker. He was a K-State grad. He's a K-State guy.
Okay. He's the one you go to like not Farmageddon. Is that Farmageddon? No.
I've never been. I go to like a K-State game every once in a while, or like I've been to a couple Chiefs games with him because he lives in Kansas City.
Yeah. Okay.
So it works out. It's on the way.
Yeah. There you go. Jim, you had an adventure through the American healthcare system this weekend.
Yeah, Lady Jim. Lady Jim. Yeah. Who I don't ever talk about very much, but XFL Jim Lady version had a whole deal. So you're one to talk about back problems.
Mm-hmm.
You know the scenario. So she had a disc removed 2 years ago in 2023.
So did they fuse her when they did that?
I think so.
Because I think they have to fuse you.
I think they have to do at least a little bit of a fusion, right?
Yeah, for just that span, yeah.
So they did that.
Uh-huh.
And gets all done with that. Is in the hospital for about another week after that. Not doing great in the hospital, by the way. And then she gets transported to a rehab center here in Nebraska. Gets an infection, goes into sepsis, gets meningitis. Sick deal. Spends another month in another hospital. And then gets out. And then basically has chronic back pain that pretty bad. And gets progressively worse throughout the next couple years. She gets a device implanted in her back. You
said it was like an electric shock kind of
yeah. The stimulator.
Impulse
they call
stimulator
it stimulator.
for the like the nerves and shit.
Yeah. Gets that put in. It does a little bit at first, then does nothing. And then progressively over the last couple months, she's been getting worse and worse. I'm working over in Omaha this last week. She comes to visit because she has something to do with work up there in Omaha for a day. So she comes over, we go for dinner, go back to the hotel room. I go to work the next day on Wednesday. She wakes up at about 10. Incredible pain. Like, took her 2 hours to get sat up in bed. Couldn't make it to a chair. And could barely feel her legs. Like, couldn't walk. Calls an ambulance. We go to an ER. Well, she goes to an ER. She spends all day at that first ER. I get off work at like 4:30. I go to that ER. They gave her a little bit of pain meds and some muscle relaxers and said, get out. We can't do anything for you.
Yeah.
So we took the Jeep, we took the vehicle. I took her to UNMC, which is like the number one hospital here in this state, also in Omaha. Thank God we were in Omaha. Went to the emergency room there. waited around for a few hours. She gets in. I went to this place called Don and Millie's for dinner. Great burger. Great mini corn dogs. So if you can imagine the menu, when I tell you my order, I got a cheeseburger, mini corn dogs, a loaded baked potato, and onion rings.
Yes.
And
I love everything that you're telling
it's
me
a
right
fast
now.
food style restaurant.
That's amazing.
And from 5 to 8, they do dollar margaritas. It's a magical place.
Nice.
It's a magical place. Right by the hospital.
Pretty good.
So I went back in there. She's in the ER. I leave because she's like she's getting overnighted for the ER. She's just going to spend the night in the ER. I go back to work. I see her the next day. On Thursday, she finally gets a room. Giant room, by the way. Shout out UNMC. The room was bigger than my living room.
Wow.
It was massive. And it was baller because you could fog and unfog the windows on a tablet. Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool.
So we're in there. We're just kind of waiting. Everything's up in the air. We're all stressed. We don't know what's going to happen. Some people are saying, no, you're never going to get surgery. Some people are saying you need surgery. Da-da-da-da. Eventually, we're just like, okay. One doctor comes in. One neurosurgeon comes in. And he's like, okay, we're thinking you need surgery. And you need it probably soon because we are worried about potential nerve damage. Because she's like progressively losing more and more feeling in her legs. And then like...
Right.
Didn't have the feeling to pee, stuff like that. So she gets surgery Sunday morning. All good there. Everything's good. Now she's still in the hospital. She walked today, which was a plus. She walked like to the door in her room and back. She's in a lot better mood. She's in good spirits. We're feeling good. But it was a long week. It was a long week.
My mother-in-law just had...
She had a laminectomy is what it was called.
Okay. But... mother-in-law just had 3 vertebrae fused. Like, yeah, she's wrecked.
They did say in the future she may have to have, like, another fusion. But he said, like, who knows how far in the future. That's
all right. So if anyone is out there is listening.
Also, I don't, like, Indian doctors, so thumbs up.
All right. Anyone out there who's listening who has back pain and they might, they have a doctor who's saying they might need to get like a fusion or something. I say, if you can avoid it at all costs, avoid it. Cause I have a friend who's done it's actually done medical research on this. Apparently what happens is people get their back fused. And then what happens is the very next vertebrae up, that disc gets fucked up. And then you have to keep going until you're just like a fucking puppet with a rod up your ass.
Yeah. So we'll see. She still has the stimulator in, and maybe she can start smoking weed.
At least they haven't said fuck it and put her on a pain pump or anything, one of those things that they put in you that just keeps you on a steady flow of opiates.
Not yet. We're wondering if she's gonna get prescribed at-home opiates because she hadn't been taking opiates for the last year.
She takes them after she has surgery, right?
Yeah. Surgery, they're giving her Dilaudid, dude.
Yeah.
They're giving her the heavy shit.
They what was it? No, it wasn't Dilaudid. Demerol.
Oh yeah.
My god. I threw up on somebody's shoes in the ER on Demerol one time.
No, they're giving her that, and then a couple times they'll probably give her Oxy as an outpatient.
Mm-hmm.
But for the last year or so, she's just been taking muscle relaxers.
So when I was 21 or 22 the first time I had serious back spasms that laid me out, and my parents took me to the ER, and I was in there and I was in a dark room and I was in so much pain, and they took blood, took urine, tested everything, and they came back and all right, well, I think we're just you're having really bad back spasms. We're going to give you this shot of Demerol and you're going to, you'll feel better. And so they fucking put it in me. My head instantly starts just swimming. And I was like, I'm going to throw up. And the fucking old male nurse goes, with the amount of THC in your system, you shouldn't be nauseous ever. And then I fucking honked just right on his shoes. Right there.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, dude.
That's
it was
fucking beautiful.
Yeah, you shouldn't be nauseous ever. That's what he gets for having that sort of confidence, though. That sort of hubris gets your fucking shoes puked on.
One of my coworkers has like his medical story. His medical reaction is he's allergic to Benadryl.
Oh God!
So, what happened when they found this out is he was given Benadryl in the hospital
for an allergic something, right?
No. Just like I think to help him sleep. Because it like tires you out and puts you down.
Yeah, it's in a lot of the over-the-counter.
Yeah. So he had an opposite reaction where it gave him insomnia and he couldn't sleep for like 2 days.
And he just...
And it wasn't just like couldn't sleep. It wasn't just couldn't sleep. It was like no energy and zonked, but like bad zonked.
Yeah. Yeah. My wife's cousin one time when they were doing their family Thanksmas thing, her like one of the sets of cousins got like his family got like all got the flu, so they were like staying in their own place and quarantine and stuff. He spiked like I don't know like a 105 fever or something and went into just fucking beast mode, like shirtless. Ended up like they had to get the cops to like subdue him to take him to the hospital to be treated for this flu because he just went completely fucking vanilla gorilla in the front yard. Isn't that amazing?
That's fucking awesome.
That's like some PCP shit, you know? But he just got his really bad flu. Like, that's crazy.
God damn.
He's an ex-Marine, you know, that sort of shit.
Dude, I can't wait to go back to St. Louis. That's all I'm thinking about right now. Now that I'm not stressing, that's all I'm thinking about is my fucking trip.
What else is on your due in St. Louis list?
So we're staying at the casino. So Thursday night, we're probably either Thursday night or Friday night. We're gonna do a little bit of gambling.
Yep.
That'll be fun. And then it's just I got to make a whole list of different videos I'm gonna film. He actually has to work Friday, like a full work day on Friday, and his bank that he works at has an office in St. Louis.
Okay.
So he's gonna have to work the majority of the day. I'm just going around with my tripod filming shit.
Yeah.
And go to the stadium and film shit, and then probably film shit at night and spend time editing.
Are you driving or flying?
We're driving this time. When I looked again, the tickets were like $300 a piece.
You taking the old Camino?
No.
Not roadworthy?
Two reasons. 3 reasons actually. Needs an oil change. Mm-hmm. Reason number 2, I don't have it. I need to get historical plates for it, so I need to re-register it. It's right now.
So you don't have to register like every single year.
Yeah. Because it's expired right now. So I'm getting the historical plates for it. I think it caps it at like 30,000 miles a year or something like that I could drive. But
yeah, I think it's something like that.
I really only drive it around my neighborhood, like around like the Tri-City area where I'm at.
Right. I like that you call it the Tri-City.
That's what they call it here, dude. That's what they call it. That is what they call it. Kearney, Grand Island, Hastings, the Tri-Cities.
Oh my God. So just thinking of Nebraska, Jim, I found an absolute gem of a program. I don't even know what it's on Disney Plus, which like part of Disney Plus it's on, but it's called Into the Eye of the Storm.
Okay.
And it's people like it's them like stitching together basically people's like stories and like cell phone footage, like security cam footage, shit like that of I'll just call it shit getting weathered. Like the first episode, what got me was the first episode. Like the second part of it was part of the tornado outbreak where we had that tornado that came fairly close to us. The second part of it was that bitch that got sucked out the purple cow when she was trying to film the tornado. For some color, the purple cow is like a throwback 1950s diner that's like a Little Rock institution that you can get a purple milkshake, and you know it's just like kitschy, and my kids love it and all kids love it and everything. But they were at the purple cow and this tornado is like coming towards them, and for some reason her and her husband, her with one hand because she's holding her camera are trying to hold glass doors closed. And of course, that was like an EF3 tornado. It fucking sucks both of them out, and she's just like bouncing in the parking lot like a fucking basketball. It's God insane. Damn. Dude, I've never heard so much pleading with and apologizing to Jesus as I have watching this show. People are so scared. Like people in cars, like getting like flipped the fuck over, and like you can hear like oh my God. The Joplin tornado was the scariest shit ever, dude.
Oh, dude.
That just had, that would, I guess it was just like the 10-year anniversary, or so it was like the 14-year anniversary of that. Dude, that shit was insane.
I might be going there next year. Now. I might be going there like either later this year or next year.
We'll have to like meet in the middle or something. Joplin's not that far away at all.
Really?
I could probably just come all the way to Joplin.
It's a 4-hour drive.
That's not bad. That's a good trip to,
What is it for me?
It's much longer. It's got to be like 8.
Let's see. For me, it is. If I go on the maps. Yeah, 4 hours and 5 minutes for you.
8.
Let's see.
Calling it an 8er from Decatur.
Yeah, well, 7.
But with piss breaks and like multiple KC stops for slices of pizza and donuts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How long do you think of a flight it would be?
To get to Joplin?
From where I'm at.
You would have to fly in a crop duster.
8.5 hours.
Because you would have to go to like fucking Dallas or something. Or like Denver.
No, apparently connecting one or more stops. $817, 8.5 hours versus driving 7 hours.
Dude, flying into those small places is ridiculous.
Jeff chimed in. You see Anthony Beck's wife of 24 years photo he just posted on Twitter? She's a fucking smoke show. I know Anthony Beck's wife is a smoke show. Did you know that, Chase?
I didn't know that. I enjoy it thoroughly when schlubby guys have just like dime piece wives. Like I mean, who's the king of that? Coach O,
Oh yeah.
It might be Belichick now.
We'll see. Oh, definitely Belichick. We'll see. Chase, what's your Jeff? We'll see. Smoke show maybe is like she's very attractive.
I'd say for a lady of that age, I'd say she's a 9.
Yeah.
For a lady of that age, I would say she's a 9.
Yeah.
Could have got it yesterday.
Could have got it tomorrow.
Very strong Lisa Ann vibes.
Anthony Beck
especially with that rack.
I always forget how goofy he looks.
He does look goofy. Yep. Kind of.
It's the ears.
Yeah. And then this face.
Yeah. Always doing that face. I will say this, as much as like a buffoon he could be sometimes, similar to like CJ Johnson and for the Houston Roughnecks, I love his passion. He's very entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh-wee.
God damn it. I can't wait for the fucking championship game. And then I'm like,
I'm excited for you, buddy.
I'm left like just dead. Dead inside. But then I kind of pick myself back up and I get ready for the CFL. It's a marathon.
Not a sprint.
No, it's a big marathon. And I'm going to have so many takes, dude. My biggest take now is like when the season should start. That's what I've seen people on Twitter talking about.
I'm with you in the December thing.
Not even just like, it'll be like
when during the college bowl games. Sorry, I meant
we're talking like AFC Championship week.
Oh, that's what it was.
Weekend.
That's what it was. Yeah.
When would that be?
That would be like the last week of January, I think.
The AFC NFC Championship games are January 25th. So what if? So then we would go on. So the week after that is the Pro Bowl. So the week after the NFC AFC championship game. So the first game would be so January 25th. So after that, it would be January 31st and February 1st. Would be your like opening weekend.
I'm for it. I think that's a great idea.
So then if we take that into account, 10 weeks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We would be ending the regular season April 4th. April 18th would be the championship day.
It's like Arkansas Derby and
That would be. That's almost perfect.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you're going against March Madness in the entirety.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like your biggest obstacle isn't necessarily like part of it's the sporting events, obviously. Like right now, you're going against NBA and NHL playoffs. But like the summer, like the weather kills people in the like. It's probably really hard to go to a game in Houston right now.
Yeah, it probably sucks a whole lot. But
Probably sucks.
I think like any like outdoor football game in Houston from probably like late April to early October probably
You're
blows
done
a
in
little
April.
bit. Yeah, that's a good point. Touche,
Like,
honky.
You're done in April, and like the only place it might be cold in like February is DC
True.
because Michigan plays in a dome.
Also true.
So
Right,
I don't know.
right.
I have a lot of takes. I'm gonna fire them off. Chase, I got nothing else on my mind besides like football right now.
I just wanted to see your sweet angel baby face.
I love when I get to talk with you. It's been so long, especially like we didn't do brunch time betting.
Mm-mm.
We didn't get to do anything. Oh, I missed you.
Mwah.
All right, folks, that'll do it for this very fun episode of the Jimnasium. We'll probably do another one when I get back from my trip. We love you guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye. That chain is so mad.